What's up guys, Tom here from Metalloud, and today we're traveling all the way back to 1999. The year that brought us Star Wars Episode 1 and the Y2K scare also brought us the beginning of Underoath. Let's take a look back at their first album called Act of Depression. Now, after listening to this album, it's really kind of hard to imagine that this is the same band that gave us one of the most influential metalcore albums of all time. And the reason is because it's not the same band, and I'll get to that a little bit later. This album is just really rough in every single way. The drumming, while it does work, it's fairly simplistic and pretty by the numbers for any kind of metal during that time period. You get the blast beats and the highs that you'd expect, and due to the production, the drum work sounds almost like it's made from old coffee tins, like the actual drum kit, and it sounds a little, like I said, a little bit rough. It sounds a little bit underproduced. The guitar work fares a little bit better, but it's nothing really to write home about on this album. This album, again with the guitar work, really wears its influences on its sleeves. Never really becoming a ripoff, but it's definitely there, and it's never really enough for it to stand out in any real way. The vocal work here is just not good. It's pretty bad. This is Dallas Taylor, the original vocalist, who later goes on to form Million and the Sons of Disaster. And his screaming on here is just completely unrefined. It's way too high for what he's actually capable of. He sounds like he's in a range where he's not actually comfortable doing this vocal work. And it just comes off as very harsh noise. And it's only made worse by the length of these songs. I mean, these ones hit over 10 minutes long in some cases, and they really wear out their welcome pretty quickly. Now, that said, at this point, we're talking about 1999. This band is not even the band that they become. This is a very early record from them, and at this point, they've kind of just started to find out what they're doing and what they're capable of. And I would say that really Act of Depression is kind of an album that's interesting to listen to in a historical sense, to kind of see where they came from and what they become as a band and how things started to kind of improve over time. It's not a great album. If you've never heard Underoath before, this is not an album to start with. You're not going to find anything here to really latch on to. If you're even a fan of, like I said, like just metal back in that time, this is still not a great album. It comes off, again, fairly generic in every way. You know, it's unfortunate because, again, this is a young band we're talking about who are really just trying to find themselves at this point. So it's hard to kind of overly criticize them for the reasons why this album is the way it is, that it is rough, that it is just a little bit underwhelming, I guess. But you know, it's definitely worth a listen, at least to kind of see the past of this band.